What's up, YouTube? Welcome to my review of the Innova Champion Teebird3. Big thank you to viewer subscriber Chris Caulfield for sending me this disc along with some other ones to test and review and just enjoy. It's been really great testing this stuff. Thank you very much, Chris, for your generosity. I definitely appreciate it. Let's get on to the review. So, beautiful disc. Generally I like to show you guys more stock stamp, just basic stuff. This one's a little bit harder for you to find in this particular plastic type, but Chris sent it to me and I still wanted to get the review done, and they are available. You can find these Jolly Launcher Teebird3s out there. As of the filming of this video, they were still available on the Innova Pro Shop and that sort of thing. So if you look around online, you should be able to track one of these down if you're looking for it. But I think, hopefully this will be a decent representation of the mold in general, so you guys can just get an idea of what to expect with the Teebird3s. But yeah, look how beautiful this thing is. Just a gorgeous disc. I love the translucent, super clear blue. It's just really pretty. I really like the artwork on the stamp. Not really a big fan of gold, but that's just me. But the artwork on the stamp is cool, and the overall disc is just a really beautiful disc. There's a little bit of like swirly blue going on, like right there. You can kind of see those little trails of blue in the clear. It's just a beautiful disc. Take a look at the bottom. Not a whole lot to show you. I think it just says T3 175. There's some Innova markings and stuff on there as per usual. Rancho Cucamonga. So it's a pretty flat top disc. Very little dome to it whatsoever. Also, just got that kind of classic shape to the rim profile. Not exactly sure what the flight numbers are for the Teebird3 because it's not listed on this disc. You guys can look that up real easy on the Innova website. I believe it's like 8402. I could be wrong, but you can check for sure if you're interested in that. But yeah, you can see the rim profile, very classic, nothing terribly distinct about it. I kind of wish I had a regular standard Champion Teebird to throw it up next to, see if we could see any differences, but I don't. I also don't really have any real experience with Teebirds in general. They're a real classic mold, but just not one that I've ever really tested. So I'm just going to review this guy as though it was its own disc, and not really make too many references to the actual standard Teebird. The other problem with Innova across the board that I think a lot of people have recognized at this point is that they have so much plastic, so many variations to everything, that trying to get an idea of how your exact Innova disc is going to fly is really difficult. The runs vary in stability and stuff frequently, and all kinds of different factors go into changing the flights a little bit here and there. So really, you guys got to just kind of wade through the sea of information in terms of what runs act different ways and stuff like that. With Innova, it gets a little bit tricky. It's one of the benefits of throwing Innova is that you have so many options, but it's also kind of a downside that you need to be able to kind of wade through the sea of information about all the different options available to you as an Innova thrower and pick the right ones to fit your game. But yeah, the Jolly Launcher plastic is fantastic. It's got a good feel to it. Not the grippiest plastic in the world, but it sure is pretty. I'm sure it's plenty durable. I love how easy it is to see my grip on this one. I might actually use this disc to reshoot my grips video, just something I wanted to update recently, and this is a perfect disc for that. But yeah, good plastic, should be plenty durable like all Champion, but this one's really nice and clear and got a really good look to it. So this disc is pretty beefy from my testing. It's pretty overstable. It is max weight. I tend to prefer lighter weight drivers for my arm speed and my throwing style. But for me, yeah, I'm not getting a lot of distance out of it, but it's pretty accurate and it's very consistent. Basically does the same thing every time I throw it. It's pretty stable for sure. It's not too far off from something like a Thunderbird. It's kind of like a slower Thunderbird, maybe a little less glide, definitely less distance potential. It reminds me a little bit of the Latitude 64 Culverin. It's also, but again, not as much distance, not as much stand up and carry. It just kind of, you really gotta rip it. I think this disc is best suited, hands down, for big power players, people that have big arms, and strong throwing power. I think you really like this disc as something that's trustworthy, that you can throw, expect it to always have that finish at the end, but maintain a relatively straight flight up to speed. But for me, definitely kind of like a hyzer fairway, something that I can rip on as hard as I want without worrying about it flip over at all. And it had a decent fade to it pretty much every time I threw it. But again, like we talked about earlier, a G-Star Teebird3 could be significantly different. I'm willing to bet it'll be more understable, or maybe a little straighter overall. And then Metal Flake might be actually more stable than this one, because Metal Flake plastic tends to be really stable. That's just kind of a snapshot of this particular mold and my thoughts on it. Thanks very much for watching, guys. Thanks again to Chris for hooking me up with this beautiful plastic to test and review for you guys. But overall, I think it's a solid mold. It's very very consistent and very accurate, easy to know what it's going to do. It definitely likes to hold that line up to speed, very little turn, and a strong fade. So thanks for watching, guys. Cheers.